Welcome back to the Citystead. Today I'm over here at the garlic farm, just doing the last little bit, just checking it out. I got some sprouts of the early stuff we planted, which is okay. You might get that before winter, especially here in Michigan, because we had a lot of like 60 and 50 degree days between basically Thanksgiving and Christmas. It was pretty warm. Actually today it's like almost 50 degrees and it's right around Christmas time. So, you know, garlic acts different depending on how the weather is. Because it was so warm, the early stuff I planted, like the beginning of November, late October, that stuff is kind of sprouting. The stuff I planted later in the year is still underground grown roots. So it's fine either way. If it sprouts, you're okay. If it doesn't, nothing to be worried about. It's okay still. But what I thought I'd do today is tell you all the different varieties of garlic that I planted here at the garlic farm. There's a good handful of them. I think I did like, I want to say 8 or 10 different varieties of garlic. A couple rows are mostly just one, like one's all one variety, another row's a whole nother variety, and then I also did a couple of smaller rows of just single types that are new to me or things that I thought would be interesting to try out this year. And like I said, I tried to plant a few, try them, and then see which ones are my keepers. I got a couple of keepers already that I like to grow over and over. But today I thought I would tell you about all the different stuff we planted here. There's like 2,000 some odd cloves of garlic over here, and we're going to go through and talk about all the different varieties that we planted. Alright, so my first variety of garlic I'm going to be growing is this, well, it's called Montana Giant. But if you look at it, this is an example of one head of it. It doesn't seem very giant to me. So I've just kind of named it Montana. So I got a ½ pound of this. This is stuff that I've grown from my own personal seed stock the past few years. So I know that this stuff grows well for me. It grows well where we're at. And it's, like I said, it's always been a pretty good one. I love the colors it gets on it. You can see that really rich purple on the skins, and I really like that. As far as it being giant though, I've never actually had any massive looking cloves or heads come off of this thing. I mean, they're a good size for garlic, but they're not like what you would think of when you talk about giant, you know what I mean? So when we talk about garlic, we usually talk about pounds. How many pounds did you plant? So my 1 pound of Montana Giant garlic actually gave me 105 cloves. So you think about it, 1 pound, which was about maybe 10 heads, 10 or 11 heads, something like that, is gonna in turn give me 105 new heads of garlic. All right, so next up on my garlic that I'm growing, this is a Cuban Purple. I like these purple garlics. They emanate this awesome, amazing color. This is a really good example of what it really looks like. Just super red, just really, really nice. Now I grew this a couple of years ago and I actually enjoyed it. This is actually a head of it right here. So you can see it's a fairly good sized head of garlic. And it's gonna give you a rough amount of about 10 to 12 cloves, maybe as low as 8 if they're a little bit on the bigger side. Like I was saying, I did grow this a couple years ago and I actually really liked it. I didn't save a bunch of it for seed garlic, so I used it in my culinary purposes because I thought it was just a really good tasting garlic. So we ended up just cooking with it. And this year I wanted to bring it back since I'm having a little more space. So this is something I had to go out and get because I didn't actually have any seed garlic readily available for my own collection. So we'll just peel this apart, and like I said, it's about 10 cloves. This one had 11, but sometimes you don't really count these little teeny tiny ones because the normal ones are a lot bigger. There's a normal clove, there's the teeny tiny one. So this one had 10 cloves, like I said, 11 if you count that little tiny one, but we don't even plant that one. So Cuban Purple, you can see there, 1 pound of it, and I'll tell you about how many cloves it gives you in a second here. So my second 2 rows are that Cuban Purple. We had 1 pound of it. I got 129 cloves out of it. There are a few more smaller ones when it comes to that Cuban garlic, so I would give or take about 15 that I did put in the ground because, well, you know, even if I could use them as culinary for myself, I'm going to do that. So another variety of garlic I'm going to grow this year that's new to me is this one I found from Keen Organics or I can't remember. Keen. They sell garlic there. It is a Piechowski. Probably saying that absolutely wrong, but I know it's a Polish variety, ski, but it is a Polish variety that has been grown out in Wisconsin for quite a few years. And this is another one of those purple striped kind of garlics. It looks great, has an awesome look to it. Now I do not know what it tastes like, but from what I hear and what I read, it is a very, very desirable garlic. So I think it'll be a nice little addition to the garlic farm, and it's something that's definitely unique. I couldn't find this at all the different places. Keene was one of the very few that actually carried this variety. So we're bringing it over to Michigan. We'll be able to distribute it a little bit more, and of course it is a hardneck because that's what I like to grow here. Obviously there's better reasons for it because it's cold, and you know, it just does better here hardneck garlic wise. So I got my little area staked out for this stuff. I got 4 pounds of it, so I'm gonna have a lot of it going in. So I finished planting that Piechowski garlic. It took me a split of 2 days because there's quite a bit of it. Out of the 4 pounds that we planted, it created 360 cloves. So yeah, that's an ideal. So 4 pounds, 360 cloves. It's a good size garlic clove. One of my favorite varieties that I'm growing is music garlic. Now I've been growing this for a few years. A lot of people grow this. It is very popular. It is another purple striped hardneck garlic. You can see right here is the size of a head. Pretty decent size. And it's got that really, really beautiful purple and coloring on it, which is just great when it comes to this garlic stuff. I love that purple color in the garlic. Now music garlic is kind of preferred by like chefs. They really enjoy using it because it has such a good rich flavor that's also not like, you know, overly hot or overly spicy. So it's a really good garlic. Now I got about 4.5 pounds. This is stuff I've been growing for a couple of years now, like I said, and so my seed stock has gotten really good on this. This is like, I think it's 4.5, maybe a little over 4.5 pounds of garlic. So this music garlic being a larger garlic, I just peeled the head apart that we had here that I showed you, and there was 8 cloves on that head. So each head is going to be around 6 to 10 cloves, depending on how big they are. If they're a little bit smaller, you probably won't get as many. You'll probably be closer to that 6 range. So just an ideal of how many cloves come on a head of garlic. So with that 4.5 pounds of music garlic that we had saved up, we actually got 304 plants out of it, or cloves, and that's quite a bit. Cloves were a little bit bigger than I remember when I broke them up. So I thought I was going to get a lot more, but actually the bigger, thicker cloves actually means a lot less plants. Alright, so next up we have a blossom garlic. Now this stuff is a hardneck. Like I said, I have been growing tons of hardneck because they're better in our northern climate. This is another purple stripe. You can see right there on the coloring, a little bit of it there, not as much. The blossom garlic is said to be a very hot garlic. It's got a lot of heat to it. They say it gets milder as you cook it, which a lot of them are kind of like that. If you eat it raw, it's gonna be really fire in your mouth. If you cook it, it's gonna be a little bit milder, but because it is so intense in the heat that when you do cook it, you will still have a really good garlic zing to it. So I got 2 pounds of this blossom garlic right here. Show you the size of the head. Pretty good size head on these. They say sometimes in the north you get smaller ones going. We'll see. I mean, some of these cloves are very, very good size cloves right there. So I think we'll have a good size head on these. This will be my first time growing this one. I'm not real familiar with it, but I wanted to get something in my you know, selection here that was a little bit hot, a little on that spicier side, and this is what I chose to go with because I found it and it just sounded good. It looked good. And I know it grows in our zone fairly well, so that's why we got it. All right, let's crack one of these guys open. So we got 2 cloves so far. This is a good size head, so I would say this is probably on a larger size. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get through it. 4. It looks like we got about 3 there. 4, 5, 6, 7 cloves off of that one big head of garlic. So that gives you an idea of how many cloves you could expect. So one plant there will give us 7 new ones, 6 new ones. 6 to 7 is about what the range that they are. And like I said, they are good size. You can see right there, that's a decent sized clove. These will be a nice fat garlic that we can grow. All right, let's go plant these in the ground, and I'll count the cloves and we'll tell you how many cloves we got out of it. All right, so 2 pounds of blossom garlic turned into 107 cloves. So the next variety that we're planting is this thing called Oregon Blue. Now this is a Pacific Northwest heirloom type. It is a little bit different than most of the garlic I'm planting because this is the only soft neck that I'm doing, that I went out and kind of sought for. It's said to have a nice spicy flavor, but not like a overbearing spicy, but like a really good spicy. Like you know it's hot, but it doesn't taste hot, it doesn't burn your mouth kind of thing. It is artichoke type, soft neck, like I said. These are the heads on them, not too bad. They're pretty much just white. There's like a teeny tiny bit of like purple here and there. They get a little tinge to them. But when I was looking at these cloves, nothing really jumped out that like real purple or anything. Like there's an example of some of the coloring that they might get on them. You see that right there. So not like overbearing color. They're pretty much just an artichoke, like I said. But it is unique that they would have a little bit of a tinge to color to them, possibly. So let's put this in the ground, soft neck. And I also got 2 pounds of this soft neck garlic here. So most everything I planted was over 1 pound of the different varieties, just because I want to have enough to actually go around. I'm guessing with this, we're probably going to get close to like 110 bulbs all together out of it. So I wish I remembered how many heads I actually had when I started. So I can tell you how many heads I had at the beginning, but I don't remember. So let's see, this head we got, we're going to count the cloves on the head because I like to give you an idea of how many cloves you can expect per head. So one head, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. More paper wrapping around them. That looks like it's probably more than 1. 5, 6. We got 7 and 8. And I'm going to guess that there's 9 and 10 inside of this interior wrapping. Now with the soft neck, what you get is that they grow a little bit more like on the inside. Hard necks, they have the stalk in the middle of them, so they don't really grow as closely together in the center as these do. So there it is, 10 cloves inside of that one head of this Oregon Blue garlic, like I said, soft necked. All right, we gotta go get this in the ground. And then all right, the Oregon Blue is in. Out of the 2 pounds of Oregon Blue that we had, I got 170 cloves. So yeah, that did quite a bit more than I thought it would. Some of the cloves got a little bit smaller as I was getting down in my bucket. I almost forgot how. So I had some really good sized ones and a few that weren't really good size. So like I said, they're kind of smaller when they grow up north, so we did have to see some of that variation. We'll see how they do. The next variety we're doing is a red Russian garlic. I grew this myself. I got some problems with it. It wasn't the greatest seed stock. I only got 1 pound of it here, not that much. It's really nice and big and thick. That is a thick, thick garlic right there. You can see some of these cloves right here. Like these are just some big, fat garlic cloves. So this is kind of like one of those big, giant size type garlics. Not like an elephant garlic, an actual garlic that's just a large size garlic. I think it's a decent garlic. I mean, if we use it at home here or there, I didn't grow a very good crop of it. Like you can see, like peeling it off, my skin doesn't look that great. So I wasn't really too excited about it, but I got 1 pound of it here. I'm gonna replant it and we're gonna see what we can get out of this crop for this year. These big fat heads of garlic like this, they give you about 6 to 8 cloves out of one of those heads because they are such a large clove. You don't really get as many on each head of garlic. Alright, gotta get this in the ground. So that 1 pound of red Russian garlic, like I said, it's a big head. It only gave us 39 cloves, 40 cloves. I had 1 extra in the row. So 40 cloves out of 1 pound of that stuff. You know, I'm just trying to build seed stock when it comes to that variety. So I got my little patch there. That is my red Russian. Hopefully we replant all of those. At 40 plants turns into, you know, what, 8 cloves off of that. We can get 80 cloves and we can start getting a good amount of that to plant for the upcoming years. All right, that's it. That's all the different garlics that we have here at the garlic farm. If you guys are interested in more garlic videos, I'll have a few more up, I'm sure. Or you can go back and look at some of our older garlic videos. But we'll be doing all sorts of garlic stuff from here forever, probably. All right, guys, remember to be bold, grow bold, and as always, I'll see you guys in that very next video. Peace.